All right, everybody. I am here with Victoria Dougherty. Hey, Victoria.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you this morning?
Yeah, hanging in there. Thank you.
It's good. So, Victoria is a real estate agent out of Indianapolis with High Garden. Is it High Garden Realty?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
excellent. And
Yep,
she's going to talk
got
to
it.
us about how to get your clients what they want without losing your temper or your mind from the other agent, I guess.
Yeah, all,
Yeah,
all parties involved.
all the
All the
parties.
things.
All the crazy people. Well, first, let's create like a little backstory. Did you used to lose your temper, Victoria?
So I think it's very easy for agents to get emotionally involved in the process when you're
Yes.
new. Because there's a lot of things coming at you, a lot of things you've never experienced before, and you work very closely with your clients. So you do get attached to them, and yes, in the beginning it was very easy for me to lose control a little bit.
Nice. Maybe we should hear a story about that. No, but
Oh man, maybe we shouldn't.
I think you're right though, because it's like, especially as you're new, it's very easy to take on their anxiety. And it's very easy to be like offended if you're dealing with like a really combative agent on the other side too, you know?
Correct, yes.
And to be
Yeah,
like,
I
we
mean
want
that
everybody to like us. And so we feel like if somebody doesn't like us,
yeah, and you've gained your agent or your client's trust, and you just want to fight for them so hard, and it's just so easy to get wrapped up in the negative outcomes sometimes.
yeah, right. So what are your suggestions? Like if we yeah, I guess what are your suggestions? Like if we feel like we know this is coming.
Well, it's very similar to what I tell my 10-year-old is, taking a step back and counting to 10
Yeah.
works fabulously. I think with experience, it just naturally kind of evolves and you realize like, look, this is a business. It's nothing personal. That agent is just trying to get exactly what you're trying to do too. We're all trying to do our best for our clients. So I think it's really important to just take a step back sometimes, take a little breather, think about what you're really trying to accomplish here, and
Right.
realize that, when you play nicely in the sandbox, you're more than likely to get much better results than the opposite.
Exactly. Well, I also think though too, as you do more transactions,
Mhm.
even if it's in like a short amount of time, as you do more transactions, you'll begin to see like similar things. And so a lot of the anxiety comes from the unknown, right?
100%. And my character too is to get super anxious before I experience something.
Yeah.
So you're right. That definitely led to a ton of anxiety initially when I first started,
Mhm.
for sure.
But now do you feel like you personally don't have as much because you don't have to guess what's going to happen, like you kind of know or you can tell or
Yeah, 15 years have definitely worn me down in terms of, I don't have many nerves left, but that's a beautiful thing. I do get told a lot that I have such a calm nature, and I have to laugh about it sometimes because when I first started, it was so different, and there was constant anxiety and worry, and you're just so focused on getting the offer that you're not able to really think about the process, right?
right,
Yeah, so
exactly.
learning and experiencing and being out in the field was key. I mean, in our jobs, we're constantly learning and evolving anyway because the market changes. But now I can at least take those new adventures, I like to call them, in a different light.
Exactly. I would also recommend, like, I used to put my phone on mute. So
Yes,
it
yeah.
would be,
So that is a beautiful tip, by the
yeah.
way. I put it on mute and I actually hide it too because if I don't, you're just so focused on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if the other agent or if the client is going like ape shit, I'll just mute it and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You know
yeah,
what I
I'm
mean?
telling you, I mute it and hide it,
You
so I
hide
just
it?
don't listen to it. Yes, I put it away. I just walk away.
There was a time, so like in one of our old offices we had like kind of like a longer hallway, and at the end of the hallway was this large map that was like the size of the wall, and my assistant would buy me like a box of calculators, and I would throw the calculators like at the wall to see if I could get them to stick. That's why we had to have like the map there, because it was like all these holes in the wall, you know? I think I'm gonna try
Glad
that
to see
axe
you have such
throwing.
a calming demeanor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like
You handle your stress well. Lovely.
exactly, exactly. People would like come to my office and they could like stomp on the calculator. There's something about like it breaking that like relieves the stress, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, I heard that's great therapy. I maybe should have tried that had I known early on.
That's awesome. But I like your tips. So if you feel yourself, and this is good, just not only in real estate transactions, but like your personal life, you know what I mean? Like if you feel getting like you're getting anxious, I mean, we
Yes.
all know when we're like, okay, this is my anxiety level is not equivalent to like how this situation, you know what I mean?
Correct. And I don't think I mentioned, I have 3 children and they're all boys. So, wine is also a great
Mhm.
remedy for
Yeah.
several stressful situations.
Red or white?
Yeah, either.
Oh,
Zero
both.
cares. Zero cares.
All the wine. Have you ever
Whatever's
had
close.
have you ever had orange
Yes.
wine?
No.
I just
No, but I like where this topic is going.
I
No.
just tried it the other day at this we have an Italian restaurant here, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's kind of fun." So it's basically like a red and a white wine mix. It's more in the flavor profile of a red wine, but it's orange in color. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that sounds so fun. Like, why wouldn't you want to try it?
I know. Yeah,
It's
so
like the
definitely.
best of both worlds. Sign me up.
I guess you could also, that reminds me, you could also like carry some gummies or a Valium or whatever and be like, here, take this, client. Here, realtor friend, take this. Like, you need to calm down,
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, there's endless options. I just, it is funny though, because in our market, Indianapolis is a huge city, but really in the real estate world, we see so much repeat business with other agents. So it truly is important to, keep your emotions at check and
Yeah.
really try to have a pleasant transaction, because the likelihood of you working with that agent again is very high, and
Hi.
you do not want to burn bridges, and you've got to focus on the long-term effects of your career, not
That's true.
actual perspective.
You're right. What I find though is like a lot of, I think being hostile towards each other and making the negotiations like contentious is kind of like a thing of the past. Have you seen it like people being more cooperative now?
Yeah, I do see more and more pleasant transactions
Mhm.
these days, but there's still a handful where they are very contentious, and
Yeah.
it is a very stressful situation. However, I have learned to, have the coping skills to kind of manage the other side a little bit better.
Okay.
And even though transactions start out a little rough, we tend to, the percentage of a successful, pleasant transaction in the end is very high. But yes,
Nice.
there's several still out there, unfortunately.
What are your tips besides like kind of taking a breath on what are some other tips that you can help us with on getting like playing nice with the other agent if they're being like not nice? Like you're coping.
I just try to remind them, and I'd like to say there's these huge, amazing things I've learned through the years, and really, it's common sense, right?
Yeah, right.
And being completely transparent and letting them know, hey, I honestly don't feel comfortable working in this way. I really truly feel like if we have a connection and build our relationship through the process, we're going to have a much more pleasant outcome.
You
You know,
say that?
I really do. And there's been times where I tell them, look, man, we're both trying to get to the end at the closing table. And
Right.
I can't work under these stressful situations. Like I don't want to have to drink that much tonight. So,
Yeah.
I do. I try to bring fun into it. I try to keep it lighthearted. And I do try to build the relationship with the agent as we go along because they do tend to loosen up the more comfortable they get with me.
That's
But
true.
sometimes they make me work a little
Yeah.
harder for it.
I do find though, a lot of times they're like, if other agents are being real crazy, I like to look and see like what their transactions have been, like what they've sold. And what I
Oh,
find,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and what I find is like the people that are like really crazy, it's because that person represents half of their income for the year. Like they only done 2 deals, you know?
Right. So it's very similar to me as a new agent when you're under all that pressure because you can't help, even though you have your client's best interest in mind. I think when you're under that kind of financial pressure,
Yeah.
it's really difficult to not think about the numbers.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So, I understand it.
But
Still think it's my duty to manage the other agent through the process as well.
right. You want to be like, calm down.
Yes, we don't need to work this hard.
Oh, it
Don't make
can
my
be
job
easy.
harder.
Right. It can be easy. Let's make it easy.
Yes,
That's
yes, let's work together. And I constantly remind them too, we don't need to lose our minds. There's always a solution, right?
mhm, mhm.
It may not be one that they favor, but if we all come to a middle ground, they're going to be happy.
Right. Exactly. I totally agree with you. Just reminding people about what our job as realtors are, which is to get the buyer and seller to close because one
Yes.
wants to buy, the other wants to sell. Like, let's help them do that. Like, let's not make it hard on them also.
Correct. And the one important message to the audience too is that, this doesn't mean that we sacrifice our negotiation skills at all.
Right.
We're still, really tough negotiators. It's so much nicer when it's done in a pleasant way. And you tend to get a little more than you ask for when you
Exactly.
are a bit nicer.
It's
You tend to
true.
grant a little more, even the tough ones.
It's true. Exactly. Well, I really appreciate you being on. If people have a referral for you in Indianapolis, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Oh, yeah, probably email is the easiest or Facebook. I'm even on Google Business. It's easy to find me. You don't have to look too hard.
All right, perfect. What is your email?
It's vdougherty at highgarden.com. So it's vdougherty at highgarden.com.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Victoria. Have a good
Oh,
rest of the
thanks so
day.
much. It was so much fun.
It was
You
fun.
have a great one.
Bye.